Welcome, peasants and royals alike, to the most enchanting podcast in all the realm, the Fairy Tale Podcast, where we take those sugary sweet bedtime stories you grew up with and expose them for the bizarre fever dreams they truly are. I'm your host, the Narrator, and frankly, I can't believe they're paying me to do this. They are paying me right. Today, we have a very special guest who allegedly turned her life around with the help of a suspicious elderly woman, some mice with opposable thumbs, and footwear that defies all laws of podiatry. Please welcome the woman who made running away from parties fashionable, Cinderella.
Hi, thanks for having me. And just to clarify, I prefer Ella these days. The whole Cinder prefix was really just workplace bullying that somehow became my brand.
Oh, I'm sorry, princess. Would you prefer I call you your royal glass slipperness instead?
And there it is, 2 seconds in and already with the princess jokes. You know, I did have a personality and life goals before I married a guy I met once at a party.
Fascinating. Most people need at least 3 dates and a personality quiz before legally binding themselves to a stranger. But let's start with what everyone wants to know. What actually happened after midnight at the ball? The official royal press release was suspiciously light on details.
Oh God, that night was a mess. So first of all, midnight is a ridiculous curfew. Who ends a party at midnight? The prince hadn't even gotten drunk enough to do his famous parlor trick with the royal scepter.
I'm afraid to ask what that entails.
It's not what you think. He balances it on his nose while reciting the kingdom's tax code. Real hit with the ladies.
Sounds thrilling. Nothing says marriage material like fiscal policy and circus skills.
The truth is, I wasn't running from the prince. I was running from the queen, who cornered me asking about my family connections and estate holdings. I panicked and said my father owned property everywhere the light touches, like I was in some animated lion movie.
So you lied your way into royalty. I'm shocked and appalled and taking notes.
Please, everyone there was lying. The Duchess of Northbrook was wearing a corset so tight her eyeballs were bulging. The Count of Wisteria claimed to invent cheese. It was a royal ball. It's basically medieval LinkedIn.
Speaking of medieval nonsense, let's talk about your signature fashion disaster. A glass slipper? Really? That's one step away from wearing shoes made of ice cubes or hot coals.
First of all, it wasn't even glass. That's a translation error. It was fur. Who wears glass shoes? I'd have blood gushing from my feet before I made it to the punch bowl.
So you're saying the most famous footwear in fairy tale history is fake news?
The shoes were magical, sure, but practical. The real mystery is why the prince thought a shoe was a good identification method. Like he spent all night staring into my eyes, claiming it was love at first sight, but apparently couldn't recognize my face the next day.
To be fair, royal inbreeding doesn't produce the sharpest facial recognition skills.
Exactly. And the whole trying the shoe on every maiden in the kingdom thing, super weird. What if multiple people fit the shoe? Was he just gonna marry whoever it fit first? What if it fit my stepmother?
Now that would have been a plot twist worth reading. Speaking of your lovely stepfamily, our listeners, are dying to know, what are those nightmares up to these days?
Oh, they've rebranded themselves completely. Anastasia has a YouTube channel where she does authentic servant living challenges. You know, she'll clean a toilet for the first time and act like she's discovered electricity.
Groundbreaking content. I'm sure her 3 subscribers are thrilled.
Drizella is worse. She started a wellness brand called Step to Success, selling overpriced healing crystals that are just rocks from our old garden. And my stepmother is her momager, who keeps trying to pitch them for a reality show called Keeping Up with the Steps.
I'd watch that train wreck. For research purposes, of course.
The best part, they still pretend they don't know me in public. Last week, I literally sat next to Anastasia at a charity lunch, and she kept calling me Your Majesty, like we didn't share a bathroom for 10 years.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Are you trapped in a loveless royal marriage to someone who only recognized you by your footwear? Did your magical fairy tale ending turn into a bureaucratic nightmare of public appearances and wave-related wrist injuries? Then you need Fairy Godmother's Instant Divorce Services. Our team of magical legal experts will have you saying bibbidi-boppidi-bye-bye to your ex in no time. Call now and we'll throw in a free pumpkin carriage repossession to really stick it to your ex. Fairy Godmothers, because happily ever after has a surprisingly short shelf life. We're back with Ella, who I'm now legally required to inform you is not endorsing that previous advertisement.
Definitely not. Though I do have that number saved in my glass slipper. Just kidding. Marriage is great. Love that mandatory royal protocol. Nothing says romance like having 14 servants watch you eat breakfast.
Before we wrap up, any advice for our listeners who are scrubbing floors, talking to mice, and waiting for magical elderly women to solve their problems?
Oh God, don't wait for magic. Magic comes with so many terms and conditions. My fairy godmother still sends me monthly invoices for magical services rendered and demands free palace passes for her grandkids.
So what you're saying is, pull yourself up by your glass bootstraps?
I'm saying maybe don't marry the first rich guy who's weirdly obsessed with your feet. And definitely get a prenup. They don't tell you that part in the stories.
Well, there you have it, folks. The unvarnished, slightly bitter truth behind the fairy tale. Thank you, Ella, for gracing us with your presence and crushing the dreams of children everywhere.
My pleasure. Someone's gotta balance out all those singing teapots and helpful woodland creatures giving people unrealistic expectations.
Next week, we'll be joined by Little Red Riding Hood, who will explain why stranger danger apparently doesn't apply when the stranger is a talking wolf. Until then, remember, fairy tales are just medieval propaganda funded by Big Tiara. This is the Narrator, signing off.